Some of this stuff, I almost wouldn't believe it was real if there were no screenshots of it and various receipts. As far as I can tell, Lil Tay is someone who's been online for the last couple of years, 5, 6 years, and she started her internet career as this person who made fun of other people for being poor and various raps that she would do. At one point, I know that I'm told that her and her brother faked their deaths, again, to get attention online. But over the last 2 weeks, she turned 18 and she was hyping up this OnlyFans account that she was going to make and then give people the link to it. And that account, in less than, I've seen different reports. One said it was 3 hours. Somebody else said 24 hours. The point is, in one day, this OnlyFans account of hers made $1 million. So when I talk about the triangle scam, that's basically me saying that there's some stuff that should not be allowed or able to happen simply because of someone's gender. If Lil Tay was getting $1 million from, record sales, or she started some Patreon where she's making videos and so many people are going and subbing to it so that they can see whatever content she's, writing scripts for and acting it, I wouldn't say one thing about it. I wouldn't make one comment about it. But we know what OnlyFans is. We know what all these different risque image sites are. And I will never understand why, in an era of free images of women either in little to no clothing, is it necessary for one of them to receive not only money for pictures of herself, but also so much of it that in the span of one day she becomes a millionaire? I have no words for the utter insanity, at least to me anyway, of looking at this girl, and whether I think she's attractive or not, that's not the point. Looking at this girl who there's nothing about her anatomy that is any different from the other however many billions of women on this planet. And this one in particular, who is, certainly not some singer, not some actress, not anyone who has some acclaimed talent, simply for the way she looks. $1 million on this newly created OnlyFans in one day. I don't understand men that do that. I'll never get paying for photos, and I'm someone who's tried to be very sympathetic towards, just, we talk about men being lonely and whatnot and whatever, but I can't get donating to someone just to see pictures of them. Certainly not at this rate. Now, the other part of this story that's notable, and then we'll circle back to what my main takeaway from this is. This is just one comment. I'll read it. Nobody is talking loud enough about this. Lil Tay made $1 million in 24 hours OnlyFans. Bad Babby, 1.3 million in 6 hours. Let's be real. These were kids the world watched grow up. And the moment they turned 18, grown people ran to subscribe. That isn't support. That's blank behavior in plain sight. This generation is trying to act woke, but won't call out the digital grooming going on in front of our eyes. So I have seen this online before, where there's some girl who's 17, and then once she turns 18, people, guys, celebrate. Yay! I get it. I understand why people feel that way, but I don't know. It's I can't condemn people for doing something that is legal. I'd like to imagine that, if I'm 30, 40, I'll be attracted to women my own age. That's the preference for most people, right? They date someone that's usually the same age as them. But if they're on the account of what is an adult woman, I mean, there's really nothing we can do about it. Like, I get the way I agree the optics of it are bad. I would prefer that people, first of all, not even be on her account to the level that they are, or just period, because I don't understand donating to see those types of pictures of a woman when they are free online. But it's really, I'm not going to condemn people for doing something that's legal. I don't like the optics of it. I don't like the fact they did it. I'm not going to try and accuse them of something I have no proof of, simply because I find it questionable that they were so hyped for this girl to become an adult. But really, the main takeaway from this story, besides it being an affirmation of the triangle scam, right? This idea that if you have, certain gender, you can just get excessive amounts of either attention or wealth simply for being female. But what's really scary about this is, and this would actually warrant a separate video. You've had women who've done OnlyFans who have, or these other like risque image sites and forms, come out and say, hey, this ruined my career. This made it to where I wasn't taken seriously in other fields, yada, yada, yada. And when you see a girl that is this young going on there and getting that type of support, it's going to have a very negative, because like I said, most of that stuff she did when she was younger, from what I've learned about over the last couple of days, was meant to get attention. So you're going to see a lot of these other girls who say, well, to hell with, learning how to draw or write or be an engineer or a doctor. Why would I do any of that to make money when all I have to do is just take off my clothes and then a bunch of horny, under-touched men will donate to me? By doing this, you're going by allowing this one to make that much money, it's going to inspire other young girls to do something that I believe they will live to regret. And most of them will not make $1 million. They might make 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. It doesn't even have to be a tenth of what Lil Tay made. But the point is that they're going to look at the fact that she was given positive reinforcement in terms of compensation and be inclined to consider doing this themselves, not realizing the lasting consequences of putting that type of imagery of yourself out there and how it can hurt you when you try to pursue other fields. So yeah, it's another reminder of just why we live in a rotten society. I mean, you have women who have talents, who again can sing, can dance, can act, whatever other variety of skills, and they won't get paid for doing any of these things they actually have to learn to do in order to be productive members of society. But then you have some girl who has spent years just trying to get the attention of people, stripping on some nasty website, and it is acclimated and validated by virtue of her receiving $1 million from men. I can't think of anything more pathetic and more damaging, because it's just going to have a trickle-down effect where copycats, who probably are not going to be as successful, are going to say, well, if you can make money from taking your clothes off, and I have a set of the same things that she has, I guess I'll try this as well. It's sad, man.